in the end, I'm gonna tell you right. In the end, Richard Hart is a great marketer. He can put a narrative together. That's why I had no problem with like Pulsechain Pulsex, because like he's gonna find a way to market it. Maybe it's different from what he initially thought, but he's going to find a way. It's like
that narrative got everybody long.
Yep.
So now the influencers had to stick around all bear market and keep pushing that same narrative. So
People were talking $29 hex, even during the bear market. It doesn't matter. Like I was just like, whew.
Yo, Moon King, did you buy Hex early on by any chance?
No, I got in at about 5-6 cents.
Okay.
I came in as soon as I heard basically Pulsechain, and it flew. I wanted to retest down to like the 1-2 cent area, and then as soon as that Pulsechain, like it just went, and you had no chance of getting it. And then Godwell stepped in. I remember because I did a paid course, or I called it the secret sauce class. And I, talked because I was in SHIB at the time. And I told everybody, I was like, listen, I'm completely out of SHIB. I'm going into the Pulsechain Sacrifice set. I'm going into Hex. And I'm going to explain why. And I went deep into it. And that got a lot of people from SHIB into Pulsechain Sacrifice. A lot of people don't know that. And that was around the exact time Godwell started stepping in and start just buying the chart up at like 5-6 cents. Like he was just bam slamming it, and all the sell pressure was just getting eaten up. And I did a class. It was a 2-day class. I remember it was a Friday and a Saturday, and I was like, listen guys, this thing is probably going to be a pretty big game changer. And that was a lot of people getting into Hex and getting the Pulsechain Sacrifice for the day one. That was my introduction, but I knew about it all along. Like,
are you a SHIB whale on Pulsechain?
No, I don't hold any more SHIB anymore. I cashed it out at
Yeah.
Cashed it out, sacrificed a good amount of it, paid off bills, paid off house, paid off everything, put stuff in savings, and then did the sacrifice. And it was the best move ever, because during the bear market, I had no issues like with money. I had money to play with. I had money in a sacrifice. I had no bills. So I didn't have to worry about, the decision making of selling something because of this and that. I set myself up for success.
Nice. Dude, yeah, SHIB on Pulsechain's doing nothing.
But I think that's all going to moon to some sort. You can just throw a dart at a top 50, top 100. I would say stick with the top 200 on Pulsechain, and you can find an ERC20 and just put something in it, and I think you'll get a 25 to 50x, because they're all going to have their day when they run up. And I do think Pulsechains, let's say like Decentraland decides to like run and pull another 50 to 100x. Well, you're going to get a 50 to 100x on Pulsechain with that too. You just have to be willing to wait. They're going to run. They're going to run. You just have to be patient. That's the problem with these PRC20s, is people aren't patient, and when they see a coin that's just sitting there not doing anything, people will sell it, and then boom, there it goes, and then you're just like, fuck, why did I sell it? It's the same. I guess it's just markets. It's just how it works. You gotta have patience.
Yo, B-Roots, I just want to ask you, do you expect the Pulsechain PRC copies to moon harder than the actual, like, the Ethereum side assets? Because
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
So it'd be way more beneficial just to buy the Pulse copy, and when, like, let's say SHIB on ETH starts to moon, the SHIB on Pulsechain would moon even harder, so it just makes more sense to buy Pulse SHIB.
Yeah, I mean, think about, like I said, Aave. I just throw on there. I mean, hell, look what we're dealing with PDI right now. Like, that just kind of explains to you that, like, hey, like, anything can happen. Don't have that mentality that they're not going to move. But I'll bring up Aave on Pulsechain. I'm just going to give a mindset. It's not saying go buy Aave. It's not saying Aave's going to moon. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just giving you the mindset of these PRC20s. Aave right now is at $57 in a sideways market. So I would be willing to believe that by the time the bull market is over, Aave will be at a higher price than $50. The all-time high for Aave, $600, unless I'm looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's all where all liquidity is at. So $1 million liquidity. Let's just say even today's prices, like forget even $600. $57 is all I care about. So if I take Aave and put it on the Pulsechain network, Aave right now is sitting at 8 cents. So as we sit right now, 57 divided by 8 cents is a 712x. Now let's just say as Aave goes up, obviously the Aave on Pulsechain will go up. So you're predicting more X's. No, I'm not. I'm just going to go on the very, very, very conservative side. Let's just say Aave during the bull run goes up to $203,000. I take half of what price of Aave is today, $25. Divide that by the 8 cents, you're looking at a 312x. So Aave can go on this bull run, go up to $250 per coin, and maybe on Pulsechain it's worth a fraction of that. Not 1-to-1, let's just say a fraction of that. And it goes up to $25. You just hit a 312x.
I mean, the liquidity has to get added again.
Absolutely.
Like, there was
Yeah,
a lot of the liquidity that got pulled.
Yeah.
So, like, look for that.
Correct. That's a big key. Liquidity has to be there. But at the same time, like if something gets running, what you'll usually see is whales come in and they will provide liquidity to gain positions. When I see people take Pulsechain and start attaching that to DAI on Pulsechain, PDAI, that's when I can see that they're trying to gain positions just through liquidity. And that's when I can say that, like, hey, this is like the adoption's here within the Pulsechain ecosystem.
So if liquidity's low, once liquid loans launches, who's to say you can't just take, if I get into some of these projects that have low liquidity, like you were mentioning Aave, and the liquidity needs to go back up, et cetera, isn't a good extra strategy just to be able to, leverage liquid loans or something similar to that and lock it away?
They would have to see. I don't see that happening because they have their own stable LUSD. So they would have to somehow lock LUSD with PDAI, and then you could work that out. But that takes the team recognizing that and wanting to do that. If they make that pair, you're right on. Absolutely, you can do that. If they decide not to and they just only care about their stable and they want to do that, then you're not going to get what you're talking about.
Dude, I'm a Hexican, but like, dude, I don't care. You're your own man or you're your own woman. You spend your money on what you want to. I mean, there's no reason to bash somebody for that. So it's just kind of silly drama to me. Like each to their own. I don't know why some people get so heated. Like it just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'm just now on the front lines and stuff, and people saying stuff about me right now. But yeah, it's hard when they come at you and they start calling you a scammer and you're trying to rip people off and steal from people and all that. That's where I lose it a little bit more.
I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, man. It's because you're new. Because this community, the Pulsechain Hexican community, is very passionate. When you're new and you come in with a lot of bang, you usually get hate right off the bat, especially if it goes against their narrative. I was bashed probably 10 times worse than what you're getting right now when I first kind of showed up. Main reason why is because Pulsechain wasn't even out at that time. It was pretty much just Hex, and the narrative was do not trade, do not mess with meme coins, and you will get wrecked 9 times out of 10. Do not talk to or even follow an influencer. They called them furus. They give you information, they're paid groups, all this. Do not do this. Now, in a way, they are correct. But what it does is it created a mindset that we are the best, we do safe, and this is how you get a 10,000x, and everybody else is just trying to screw you. And when I first came out, I was like, I didn't make my money through Hex. So they looked at me as a threat of changing people's minds away from the narrative. And therefore, at first, I lie to you not, bro, I'm talking like everybody was against me. But here's the thing. I don't let down because they're calling me scammers, they're calling me pump and dumper, everything this. They knew everything about me. But here's the difference. There's a difference what I did that how I was able to handle it. I spoke the truth. They would try to catch me in lies, and I would speak the truth. Did you get paid by this coin? Yes, I did. Cat caught your tongue?
Let me just attest B-Roots' story, because like it's 100% true, and I witnessed it all, and I was actually on the other side of it. I was the one that gave him shit for shilling anything that wasn't Hex, and man, like we made up because I was wrong.
That's what comes with the territory. But what I like to say is also holonomics. I made that laws of meme coins video well before they were throwing the stones And every single time, just watch the laws of meme coins. Watch the laws of meme coins. Watch the laws of meme coins. I'm telling you what I do. And it was an hour guide of me just telling people basically a guide to take profit so that you always win. Everybody else followed the laws of meme coins. I can tell. Like I saw people even tweeting about day 6, day 6 is here, blah blah blah. And I was like, this thing's definitely gonna don't, because a lot of people are following the laws of meme coins, which is good. But here's the thing with the laws of meme coins on day 6. It doesn't necessarily mean the coin is over. Majority of coins, yes, it does die and that's it for day 6. But there are always these anomalies that's like, for some reason, they just get freaking bought back up and keep going for another run. But you have the opportunity to buy the dip or walk away, but you still hold a moon bag. But yeah, Holonomics, I would just say, hey man, speak the truth, do your thing, be you, keep doing it. And what's going to happen is when you don't leave and you keep doing what you're doing, over time they just kind of change. Because I've done a lot of unblocking when people publicly apologized. I even had people. I tell the story all the time. Like, curse me out on Spaces calls. There's some bigger people that like literally, you're this, like you are, parasite, blah blah, like all the names. And I just sat there and just took it. All right, cool. I'm not going anywhere. This is what I like, so you're not going to change my mind. Saw him in person at a party. We kicked it off. We were cool. like, like it's a lot of like just built up energy over on someone else's icon, and that's what it's all about until you meet somebody in person and be like, man, this is actually a cool guy. We're just keyword typing at the end of the day.
That's the shit that pisses me off about all this for the most part, is like, okay, what the fuck does Richard really think? What does Richard really think about everything? Like, Richard wants us all to win. He wants us all to win.
We have to win together through consensus, and it's going to take us arguing and silencing each other to realize we were all on the same page.
I don't think that. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna take. It's just the price goes up. It's that.
You sound like Wells only.
No.
So I agree with you.
I have been like on T on how market psychology works.
I know.
Yeah, one of the members was asking what does Richard Hart thinks. Well, this is an entire ecosystem. Like, Richard Hart wants all of us to win. He hasn't come out to say, "Oh, don't buy it; it's bad" or something. And some of the Hexicans are actually saying we should only buy Richard Hart coins. My question now is, if actually everyone on the Ethereum said we should not buy anything that is actually built on the Ethereum network except the ETH itself, Ethereum wouldn't have gotten to where it is now. It's actually one of the most used chains. The Pulse community have to come together and realize that for Pulse, Hex, or any of the Richard Hart token to go up, we have to unite as a community. And most of this profit will be going back to the same ecosystem and promote it.
I agree with what you said there, Cool Breeze. And I just wanted to answer the question that Ignore had asked earlier, but I don't think got a straight answer for. Was that he asked, how do the people that aren't whales benefit from this whole movement? Well, I mean, Pulsechain is ripe with opportunity. For $1,000, you can become a whale in a blue chip coin. Simple, and you just have to have an open mind. You have $1,000, you can be a whale. Not $1,000, like a very small amount of money compared to coins on ETH, the top blue chip coins on ETH. So if you can become a whale position in some of the top blue chips on Pulsechain, and if you were doing your research, and you held PI from the beginning, from the bottom, and you did your research and bought some, like that was an opportunity, and there's still opportunity like that in Pulsechain. Yeah, and I just want to add on to what Cool Breeze also said earlier, about how he said no one goes the ETH max. Will just say to buy ETH and not any other coin. But people, the people who aren't in crypto, they don't go to buy ETH. They find out about the alt on ETH, and they figure out, how do I get this coin, like SHIB? How do I get SHIB? Well, you have to buy ETH to get SHIB. And that's how it works with SafeMoon and BNB. I got into crypto. I didn't know what BNB was, but I heard of SafeMoon. And so to get SafeMoon, I had to buy BNB to swap into it. Now PLS, it's going to be the same thing. People are going to be, you got to buy PLS, buy PLS. But the coin that's going to grab the mainstream attention, and that's going to make your neighbors say, hey, I've heard this coin on the news. What should I get it, and how do I get it? Well, it's not going to be PLS, and you got to get PLS to get that altcoin.
And it's funny to me because I'm...
Wait. That's how mainstream adoption is going to come, and the Hexicans need to realize this, because all these people are going to come on their chain. They're going to look at the Twitter. They're going to be saying, "Yo, how do I get this coin?" And they're going to have a barrage of hexicans saying, "No, don't buy that coin. You're just shilling pump and dumps, you idiot." And it's going to drive all the new investors away, and it's literally going to cause
because
chaos
hexicans
in
are
the chain.
toxic, and I can see, because I'm starting to see. I saw a few posts before I even came here where people were already starting to mention how toxic hexicans were, and they're right. I mean, people are right about that. I've watched it from the beginning. The hexicans will flood hexicans out of their own fucking answer. You know what I mean? And I know that, but it's like that's why it's gonna take people like us to be like, hey, like, yeah, we've been here and we believe in hex, but like these OG hexicans, they need to go like hit their breast milk. They need to go be like tired. You know what I mean? Because we are gonna be the ones that go, hey, yeah, go buy PDI, yeah, buy you some Pulsex, buy, like, we're gonna be the rejuvenation, you know.
With Pulsechain copying the PRC or the ERC tokens in the PRC, if Ethereum is ever captured by the global elites, which it probably is, they're going to be using all of that that chain just to benefit them and to actually oppress the retail people. And Pulsechain is basically like a fallback. It's kind of like a net that catches like the fallout from that if Ethereum ever goes down in that sort of pathway. And so that's like a lot of people don't even talk about that. We know like Richard created Pulsechain and his devs. It's not controlled by the WEF, and if it ever it is, well, Richard, like, you never know. Like Richard would be definitely trying to put up a big fight and making it known and rallying his community members. And so that's kind of like, it's almost like the anti-WEF chain. I look at it as, and we're all against like the globalization and the monopolization of the world, and I think Pulsechain could be kind of like a remedy for that, and it's actually in the hands of the people. And I know Moon King was on a space earlier, but someone was kind of like, Pulsechain's never going to get institutional investment, and BlackRock is never going to invest in the Pulsechain. Good, they can invest in Ethereum. They probably hold most Ethereum than most people, and I don't even want them in Pulsechain. If anything, dude, like Pulsechain can be the retail chain, and the retail has the control. And I think it's almost. I look at it as like a freedom chain, and that's like that's the reason why I'm invested in Pulsechain, and why I think the PRC copies could have some value down the road if a freedom loving project on Ethereum realizes that Ethereum is headed down a bad path. They can easily migrate to Pulsechain and be like, hey, we're going to Pulsechain, and I don't know, I think it's super.
Especially if they see DAI get there organically, how it's going, like how because everyone thought it was going to be a one-to-one copy, and then the value is going to be copied. Oh, should I keep the DAI? Should I keep everyone's speculating that. And
those are some really good points, man.
And now
I'm probably going to buy a few of those PRC 20 copies. I should have done it on day one, or not day one. That was a pump.
Exactly.